All right, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you all for being here. I want to thank all of those who have joined us today for this important announcement. Council Vice President Sharon Green Middleton, Councilwoman Felicia Porter, Councilwoman Odette Ramos, Councilman Zeke Cohen, Councilman James Torrance, new dad, Councilman Christopher Burnett. We're going to be joined also. We have Ha-Suk Chung, President of the Baltimore Civic Fund. We're going to have Karen Weber, Senior Innovation Team Manager at Open Society Institute, and our incredible care providers that have joined us today, Bloom Collective, Mom Cares, Baltimore Doula Project, and the Baltimore Abortion Fund. And we're going to get straight to the point. The right of women to make fundamental choices about their health and their own bodies is under attack across America. And while Maryland has some of the strongest pro-choice laws in the country, we are not immune to the consequences of the appalling decision the Supreme Court made last week in overturning Roe v. Wade, a decision that is especially harmful for Black women and women of color who already face disparate health challenges and barriers across our country. Frankly, we all know the court got it wrong and ruled against the will of the American people. The majority of the members of the Supreme Court could never be in a position to have to make a decision such as their own bodies. Simply put, men shouldn't be telling women what to do with their bodies. This is the reality that for now that we have to live with, and it is our obligation to rise up to meet the needs of women across the nation. And when you think about folks having a problem with us saying that men shouldn't tell women what to do with their own bodies, imagine if a group of women got together and made Viagra illegal in America, what their response would be. I promise to make sure that Baltimore City is doing its part to maintain safe access to abortion services for our residents and those women who come here seeking care. And I want to thank the council and OSI for joining with me in making this commitment. It is crucial that we invest in family planning services so that we can welcome women seeking such support with open arms. This is why we are committing $300,000 through the Baltimore Civic Fund and an open RFP process and grants to organizations that offer abortion and family planning services. And together with the $250,000 committed through OSI, we are investing in the health and well-being of our residents and making Baltimore a haven for care seekers from states that would rather move backwards, divided, than progress forward together. Now, I would like to turn it over to Councilwoman Porter. Councilwoman?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and I thank you for your further commitment to not only abortion rights, but also reproductive health. And so again, my name is Councilwoman Porter. I am actually one of the co-sponsors for this particular resolution related to the additional $300,000 from the city of Baltimore. And I just wanted to, talk through today not only the importance of abortion services and abortion rights, but elevating this conversation to the importance of reproductive health, women's reproductive health, not only for women of color, but for all women. And so, excuse me, we are seeing not only just a travesty related to how we are infringing on the rights of women, how we're infringing on the rights of women, not only within our nation, but also within our city as well. And so this is one time that Baltimore got it right. This is one time where Baltimore was proactive before Roe v. Wade in order to ensure that the women in our city not only have an aspect of health care, of comprehensive health care, but more importantly, that their health care rights are safeguarded regardless of what is happening in our nation. And so I am so grateful to have this opportunity to elevate this conversation to women's reproductive rights. More importantly, to expand the capacity of organizations, community-based organizations that are doing the work every single day, not only to ensure that women have healthcare access, but also that they have the correct healthcare access. That is very important as we move forward in this trajectory of post-Roe v. Wade. This is a direct infringement on our rights as women. as people of this United States. This is not the will of the people, and this is not the will of the city of Baltimore. And it is my commitment to encourage not only that we have policy changes related to it, but with that we have policy changes that are fiscally funded and supported, not only by the commitment of our city, but also our state as well. So regardless of what is happening at our nation, regardless of what is happening at our national level, we are making a stance here in Baltimore saying that we will not take it. We will protect the women of our city, and we will also make sure that everyone has comprehensive healthcare access, regardless of what they believe in. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. And now we will hear from Councilman Zeke Cohen.
Thank you so much to our partner in the work, Mayor Brandon Scott. Thank you to all of my colleagues, particularly Councilmember Porter, for joining up on this important effort. I was proud to sponsor the resolution that we as a council unanimously sent to seek to set up this fund, and it is the sign of having a really good mayor that we're actually now doing it, and in record time. We should be clear, though, about how we got to this crisis moment. This is 40 years in the making. This is about folks organizing on the right through the Federalist Society, preparing jurists for exactly this moment. This is about the decision by Mitch McConnell to not let Merrick Garland get a hearing. This is about the other side playing chess while we've been playing checkers. And it will take that same level of focus and organizing to put the health and reproductive health of our women and other people back to where it needs to go. Let's be clear too, there's a sick irony here that two men who were credibly accused of sexually harassing or assaulting women at their confirmation hearing have now successfully stripped rights and dignity and health from millions of American women. Let us also be clear that while everyone will be hurt by this ruling, and my colleague summed it up well, some will be hurt more. Black women will bear the brunt of this assault. Trans folks, poor women, indigenous women, all will be disproportionately harmed. And while this is about the right to abortion, this is about more than the right to abortion. According to Justice Thomas, they're coming for gay marriage, and they're coming for contraception. So let us be clear. As my colleague said, reproductive health care is health care. Black women are 3.5 times more likely to die from childbirth complications than white women. This decision by the Supreme Court will literally cost Black women's lives. That is why in creating this fund, Mayor Scott, we will address the entire spectrum of reproductive health. We seek to center the voices of those who are most impacted, and we seek to use this as a moment, as a catalyst to organize and build coalition and fight back on behalf of those whose voices have been marginalized through this decision. Without a doubt, Maryland and Baltimore will see an influx of people coming from other states to get reproductive health services. I am so proud, Mayor Scott, that we are positively affirming our commitment to the health and well-being of vulnerable people. History books will look back on this moment of crisis and ask the question, what did you do? And I am proud that in our city, we had a mayor, we had a city council that decided to stand up. I'm proud that Open Society chose to stand up. I'm proud that groups like Bloom Collective, Mom Cares, Baltimore Doula Project, Baltimore Abortion Fund chose to stand up. In this moment of regression and extreme adversity, I am proud that Baltimore chose to stand up. Pound for pound, we are among the scrappiest, most compassionate places in America. We will be a safe haven, and we will not allow this Supreme Court to have the last word. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman, and I can't stress enough how important it is to reiterate what you said, for us to come together as a city to make Baltimore a welcoming place for people who now feel persecuted in their own homes. And we have to continue to support women to make sure that they are able to make healthcare decisions for themselves about their bodies. Now, we'll hear from Karen Weber, Senior Innovation Team Manager from the Open Society Institute, Baltimore, to hear about OSI's commitment to making Baltimore a haven for care seekers. Karen?
Thank you so much, Mayor. My name is Karen Weber, as said. I lead the brand new innovation team at Open Society Foundations in its national arm. But I'm also representing OSI Baltimore, whom many of you are familiar with. We've been partnering with the city for 25 years, and we're never going away. I'm also a longtime resident of Baltimore City, and when I have had options to move elsewhere, I chose not to, and I never will. I also want to personalize this particular moment. Abortion was legalized when I was a child, and I grew up thinking that it would be so forevermore. I also believed when I had a daughter that my daughter would be safe to move around the United States of America and live wherever she chose and maintain her rights. That is no longer the case as of Friday. So with a personal commitment, Open Society Institute, Open Society Foundations, and Karen Weber, in her personal capacity, is stepping up to say, no more of this. Baltimore City has long been understated. We do so many innovative things, which is why we are centering our work, our national work, here in Baltimore. And we are starting, this is the first grant we're making, and we are starting by partnering with Mayor Scott and the City Council. I'm proud to say that the entire foundation stands behind us. I'm also using this opportunity, hopefully, to invite my colleagues from other foundations to add funding to this important venture. We will literally protect the lives of thousands of women who will be re-traumatized, who will be subjected to never-ending, potentially never-ending cycles of poverty, and so many more ill things that we thought we were over. We're right back in time. So I would like to invite people to really applaud Baltimore City at this point and to also stand with us in this venture. Right now, our commitment is $250,000. We hope to bring more funding to more groups, and we thank you for this opportunity to be a part of this partnership. Thank you again.
Thank you, Karen, and to everyone at OSI for always being a true partner for everyone here in the city of Baltimore. And as we move to take questions, I just want to remind everyone that if you think that this is where they're going to stop, you're wrong. All right? We know there's a sitting U.S. Senator who thinks we should go back to segregation and separate but equal, quote unquote, education. We know they're not going to stop. This is why it's so important for folks to vote, to get off the sideline, to not worry about minor details of a particular candidate, because if we can imagine how different the world would be if people weren't so concerned with emails in 2016. This is what happens when we allow, as the councilman said, them to play chess while we're playing checkers. We're not even playing checkers, we're playing Uno. We have to make sure that we fight folks who want to turn back the clock to a time where only wealthy white men had any say about how people's rights are decided in this country. Lisa?
First of all, is there someone here from Planned Parenthood? No?
No, ma'am.
Can you be any more specific about how that money's going to be spent, what the programs are?
Yep, I'll let Hasek talk about the RFP. Is an open process.
Hi there, I'm the president of the Baltimore Civic Fund. The allocated dollars will come to the Civic Fund. We serve as a mayoral fund for the city and often play a role in grant making. It will be a competitive a rapid response RFP. It will be released by the end of next week, and we will work with the organizations that are eligible to apply.
And who would be eligible?
Eligibility is still pending, but we are focused on those with a lot of experience in family planning, reproductive education, and abortion rights.
So is part of this money to help women who are from out of state obtain abortions here in Baltimore?
Well, part of the learning for us is getting a real sense from the community-based leaders who are currently faced with the daunting task of surging all of their efforts. So part of this is a learning opportunity for us as funders to coalesce around the priority areas. So we will definitely share those as we firm those up in the next week.
Okay, again, how much money are we talking about?
The city is allocating $300,000 and OSI Foundation $250, and we have on our website an open invitation for other funders to support this fund.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. I just wanted to add in terms of the funding, Open Society Institute will do a separate funding for those women. Some of the funding will be dedicated here in Baltimore. I'm sorry, too tall. Some of the funding will be dedicated for here in Baltimore. Other parts of the funding will be for women who are coming across the state. That's how we got our national arm involved, because we want to make sure that everyone is protected.
So just to clarify, the 300,000 is coming from the city, and then other, like Open Society, you have also donated money.
Yes.
So is there a total amount of where we're at right now, like from a city plus organization basis?
Yeah, that's $550,000. 300 from us, 250 from OSI.
So this is the only organization that's gotten involved so far?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. So far.
Thank you.
Alexa? Oh, yeah, come on, Councilwoman. 1 second, Alexa.
I'm sorry, but to also add to your question, we want to prioritize. One of the things that was very important for the councilman and I is to build up local capacity here with community-based organizations. So, making sure that our local community-based organizations not only expand the capacity and operations that they have already existing, but expanding not only their reach. Oftentimes, community-based organizations, small, they may be eligible, they may apply, and they may not get the funding. This is an opportunity to right-size those community-based organizations so that the people out there that necessarily do not fit the traditional grant-making opportunities in order for them to achieve funding at the city or state or national level, this provides them with an opportunity to achieve that funding, to expand their good work that they're doing every single day.
Alexa?
How quickly will those funds be accessible?
So the RFP is going to go out rapidly, and it'll be within a few weeks, right?
Yep, they're going to get paid by the end of August.
By the end of August, Alexa.
End of August, okay. Off-topic question.
We wouldn't have it any other way.
I know. We're just days away from the holiday weekend, 4th of July weekend. Does the Baltimore Police Department have a crime plan for the holiday weekend? And what
Yes,
can
we
you
have
tell
a
us
holiday
about it?
plan that we always have every 4th of July. We have a deployment plan that we will continue to have. No, we're not going to share that with you because we know that people who want to do illegal activity actually watch the news.
We know that added deployments alone, the mere presence of the police isn't enough. The commissioner has said that, you have said that. So what else can people expect to feel safe for the festivities?
Well, we're going to be there, and I think, I noticed you guys missed it, Alexa, but we had the AFRAM Festival with hundreds of thousands of people with no incidents, right? We've seen that with the CIAA and others, and we're going to continue to make sure that we have the safety there, albeit we all understand, you know that very well, that you can't control ultimately what someone else is going to do. But we're going to have our police where they need to be to make sure that we're doing everything in our power to impact public safety and hold people, make people safe. But also, as I said to your colleague yesterday, it would behoove us to start to ask questions about the other parts of the justice system, right? About what happens when someone's arrested in Maryland and do they just sit in prison for 5 years? Are they rehabilitated? Why is it that we keep arresting the same folks? What happens when someone is through probation and parole, which is severely understaffed, and those folks do great work and they need to be funded at high levels? Why is it that you can be on home monitoring and be outside of where you're supposed to be for 24 hours before anything is done? Those are the kind of questions we need to ask, and they are best asked for folks not named Brandon Scott. Thank you.
And this weekend, is DPW and DOT, are they going to be involved?
DPW and DOT are involved every time we have a major event like that, so they're always going to be there.
Is that with traffic closures or is it?
This is the same way that we are not going to go into direct deployment. Alexia, I'm not doing that because, again, that would tip people off who may be wanting to use those routes to say, oh, we're not going to go there, we're going to go somewhere else. We're going to have all of our agencies, operational agencies involved in our deployment for public safety like we do at every single major event. Thank you.